the way in which you created this was not through strategy, was not through systems, was not through the advice that is so often given to us that actually often doesn't feel congruent or true. You found your own path.
A lot of people put the goal of financial freedom on their vision board because they don't really have an example of anyone who has financial freedom. So they imagine that that's the key to joy, is to just have financial freedom. But what I've found is that what the key is to joy in my life is to be able to say yes when it matters. And I don't think we have a lot of really solid examples of what to do once the dream comes. Or do I now define my entire value on the fact that I've done it once, and if I don't keep it up, I'm going to be miserable? Like, there's so many different ways that we respond to the achieving of our own dreams. Like, we are able to fail all of our lives and imagine on a pedestal what success will look like. Old paradigms don't need to die for new ones to be birthed. Well, I come from a small town north of Montreal, Canada. It's a French-speaking town. And my mom and dad met when they were teenagers in a nightclub in Montreal. They met and they just spoke the language of love. And my dad worked 3 jobs. I wasn't very good at school. I just worked extra hard to impress my parents. And eventually it felt like making money and taking care of my siblings was more important. And so I took my eye off the ball in school, and it just became harder and harder for me, and I couldn't do it. And I failed my grades, and I didn't finish high school. And I felt so resentful because it felt like everything I'd given and everything I'd done just was for nothing. And I was just a mess. My life was falling apart. I couldn't, with a boyfriend that was just not good for me. Everything I was doing was wrong and bad and worse, and I couldn't get myself out of it. And so now I'm sleeping in the front seat of a car. I'm mad at everybody. I feel lonely. I feel ashamed. My life's a whole mess. I just thought, what's the point? Like, I think I've wrecked my life. I was 25 at this point. Losing everything like that had me, and it was like I had nothing. This was January, February in my car in the winter, minus God knows what weather, freezing my butt off.
But that's a really good point. It wasn't worth it in your mind.
My mind. Yeah. I had the story that session was worth nothing for a very long time. In a few months, the business went from $100,000 a month to $1 million a month. We actually made over $75 million since that day.
We're talking, what was that, 4 years?